Greetings, I. And for all those who think this is a joke and think that I'm not worthy to be listened to because I just smoked a draw of marijuana, this message is not for you. Go back to the television. So, it's no secret that these Babylonian forces, since their inception, as documented in the book of Genesis, have sought to control and rule over the populations of the earth. This is not just a few individuals in the terms of, a handful. It is a network. There are a few individuals that possess the highest keys of knowledge. However, they share some of their keys with those underneath them that are connected to this network. And their power has come through the works of their hands, much of which was obtained through the labor of servants. As we know, today the governments collect taxes, and those taxes are used to develop these technologies which will be used against the populations in the form of the loss of rights. The first right we have is the right to possess the good land. And as we have seen this destruction upon our earth, that right is being lost. And we are contributing to our own loss by continuing to pay these tributes to this form of government that serves the oppressor classes. Many of the problems that we're seeing have already been foretold in the form of predictive analysis that's done by the intelligence agencies that collect our big data, all the information that we have chosen to give to them through becoming dependent on their devices. It is a falsehood, a pretext, and a false pretense that the information is used solely to protect us from invasion of foreign enemies and also domestic enemies. This information is used to make decisions about future projects that will enhance the power and authority of those oppressor classes. And it's done by making certain analyses using complex mathematical formulas that will determine and influence our behavior as humans. It is very simple when you think about, if you understand what somebody is interested in, you can know what their patterns are, and based on other people's decisions that you have gathered, you can make a prediction about what kind of a future lies ahead for that individual. And all these points determine what direction is going to be most favorable for those oppressor classes, as well as giving them the ability to make decisions based on what is advantageous in the moment. So we, as common working people, do not have access to this information. In a social society, we would. And what is wrong with a common person being able to see what the elites see? Any common sense society would think, well, that's to our benefit, because then we're getting more input, and ultimately input on what is favorable to everyone and not just a few. But that's the threat. The threat is that we will gain power, and that has to be that threat has to be eliminated. And so many of these events that are occurring, with these shootings that never happened at this level in the past, have been predicted, and certain steps are already in place as to what kind of tools will be implemented to further the positions of the oppressor classes. We see with this Zika threat, wherever it comes from, whether it be in a lab, whether it is a plague that's put among us for our sins, the oppressor classes view this as an opportunity, whereas they can eliminate our privacy, they can force people to take new developments of technology and study the results of that. Example, the chip. And because people are more embracing of these changes when they feel that their lives are at risk as well. And the theme is that everything will be okay. Man's out for the good of us all. The good prevails, and if we put our trust in man and his device. Well, we know better. We know that businessmen are ruthless. They have been, even the first inhabitants of the earth, whereas the brother Cain had slew his brother Abel, and done so out of jealousy. And so the businessman is not thinking out for the best interests of anyone but himself, and even a lot of times at the expense of his own families. So hopefully those can hear and see and know of this truth and stop him in his tracks, because he is getting ready to destroy everything for his own gain and his own purpose. And this is being justified by making claims that all these things can be restored by the hands of man, cloning and DNA, and that all the life can be recreated through man and his superiority. Well, it is not so. All these things that exist in nature come before man. It is even proclaimed in the scriptures. Man was not on the earth here first. So if anyone were to say the earth is all we have, we should take care of it, they're wrong, because we don't have the earth. The earth was here before us. So let us be aware of how these events are being used to shape our conditions to serve those endless desires of the oppressor. Giving thanks. Jah, Rastafari.